did you just say?
What's up, guys? Where's all my Spidey fans at? You guys must already be buzzing and excited about Spider-Man Brand New Day. After all, it's set to release in theaters on July 31st, 2026. Tom Holland will be back, and the story is going to pick up from the aftermath of No Way Home, so you know you're in for one hell of a ride. Best believe this will kick off the second Spider-Man trilogy, which will be far more faithful to the original Spider-Man arcs from the comics than ever before. We'll see Spider-Man back on the streets with a much more grounded story starting fresh. But who will be the villains? Well, word out in the Marvel rumor mill is that Brand New Day is going to be packed with villains both old and new, and a few surprise ones here and there. So let's explore every villain reported to show up in the film. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we do have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Alright, now it's time to get your red and blue pajamas on, because it's time to get started.
This? It's not on you. It's on our little spider friend?
The Scorpion! Let's kick things off with the Scorpion, because this one is one of the more confirmed names so far. Now, we're sure y'all remember Scorpion, aka Mac Gargan from Spider-Man Homecoming, where he was one of Vulture's associates and got arrested by Spider-Man. And the real Marvel heads will also remember the mid-credits scene which showed Scorpion in prison, high-key plotting revenge on our beloved web-slinger. We guess he's finally going to get his moment. This character is particularly exciting because of his comic backstory, where he was initially hired by J. Jonah Jameson to pose as a private eye and find out how Peter Parker was able to get his hands on all those Spider-Man photos. Unfortunately, he's forced to undergo tested experiments which traps his mind and body in a gigantic mechanical scorpion suit. Tragic, we know. An arc similar to this one would greatly expand J. Jonah Jameson's role in the MCU as well, and show us more of Spidey as a journalist, which sounds fun. Moreover, it's rumored that we'll get to see Scorpion in his OG comic-accurate green suit, which has a cybernetic tail. And guess what? There are several comics in which Scorpion even becomes a host for the Venom symbiote, so things could get real exciting real soon. But what about his powers? Well, Scorpion's powers include the usual super strength, enhanced speed, and durability, and of course, he's got the Scorpion tail. The tail is able to strike, whip, and wrap around people, and sometimes it even emits poison. But regardless of which direction the MCU goes in, even if he's not the main antagonist, the Scorpion will be one hell of an addition to Spider-Man's on-screen rogues gallery. Tombstone! Now, this one's another rumor that's been floating around for a while, ever since Brand New Day was announced. It's Alonzo Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone. He's yet another crime boss mobster from the streets of New York City, and if you're wondering whether Tombstone's related to Kingpin, well, you're absolutely right. Tombstone is actually both a Spider-Man villain and a Daredevil villain, and was once the Kingpin's top hitman. He's a huge albino with razor-sharp teeth and maintains his mysterious and dangerous demeanor by simply whispering his orders. To be fair, it's because he has a problem with his vocal cords. Now, his inclusion in Brand New Day would once again help cement Spidey's role of tackling more ground-level threats, and might even lead to him maneuvering his way through a gang war of sorts. It's unlikely he'll be the primary villain, but he could join hands with Scorpion and others and be a major figure in the criminal underworld that Spidey has to navigate. This might even set up the Punisher's story arc in the upcoming film. So, what's Tombstone's comic background? Turns out, he's connected to Joe Robbie Robertson. They were in school, where Tombstone, once bullied for his albino skin, soon became the bully himself. Then, one day, he found out that Robertson was writing an expose on him and made Robbie drop the story by force, quite literally. Eventually, he was exposed to the chemical Deox-3, which made him more than just a bully and granted him superpowers like superhuman strength, stamina, durability, reflexes, resistance to bullets, and extreme temperatures, and of course, he's also great with combat and firearms. Now, we've got some news for you. Tramell Tillman has already been officially cast in the film, and fans have been theorizing that he'll be taking on the role of Lonnie Lincoln. But hold your horses, he may also appear as Robbie Robertson instead, and only time will tell. Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative is another compelling villain, once again aligning with the whole street fighting theme of this film, where he may be yet another crime boss butting heads with Spidey. And he's a particularly interesting villain considering his backstory and powers. Mr. Negative's real identity is Martin Li, who entered the world of crime by smuggling Chinese immigrants into the USA. But of course, typical Marvel, he too became a victim to an illegal experiment aimed at developing a new drug. This would lead to him developing his superpowers, along with two different personalities. One is the philanthropic, kind-hearted Martin Li who runs charities like Feast and soup kitchens, and the other is the villainous crime lord, Mr. Negative. Isn't that cool? Because he derives his powers from the Dark Force and the Light Force, his powers include negative energy manipulation, corruption, healing, the ability to charge objects, and even control minds, or at least influence them. You see, these rumors surrounding Mr. Negative originated when fans spotted the red logo on a tank in early set footage for Spider-Man Brand New Day. However, a Marvel insider has reported that those might be nothing more than red herrings, but hey, the verdict is still out. Tarantula! Now, Tarantula is a bit more of an obscure pick compared to some of the others on this list, but that's exactly what makes him exciting. There have been several versions of Tarantula in the comics, but Brand New Day is most likely to feature the OG Tarantula, Anton Miguel Rodriguez. There is even an amazing Spider-Man story where Spider-Man and the Punisher team up against Tarantula, and, well, with the Punisher pretty much confirmed for the film, this could totally be an arc in Brand New Day. Tarantula's backstory has him hailing from the South American country of Delvadia, where he helps carry out heists and assassinations for corrupt governments. Soon after, he became Tarantula and started donning a suit of razor-sharp, retractable spikes that could inject poisons and drugs. Low-key, it kinda sounds like a Scorpion-Tarantula team-up might be in the cards, but what do you guys think? Tarantula is obviously more street-fighting style than Cosmic Powerhouse and is a very skilled hand-to-hand combatant with enhanced agility and reflexes. Of course, he isn't big enough to be a standalone villain, so we're expecting him to be employed by one of the bigger bosses set to star in the film. The Punisher! Here, we have a bit of a twist. The Punisher isn't exactly a villain in the classic sense, he's more like an anti-hero, but in Brand New Day, he'll probably be stepping into antagonist territory in some situations. Although by the end of the film, he might just come back to the side of the heroes, or at least as hero-sided as you can be despite killing people. Because, come on, despite the Punisher's kill counts, you just can't help but root for the guy. Although he needs absolutely no introduction, seriously, just go watch Daredevil Season 2, we'll still indulge. Frank Castle, aka The Punisher, is the vigilante who lost his family and now wages war on crime by any means necessary, and we mean absolutely any means necessary. In the MCU, John Bernthal has portrayed him before, but this time, with the big screen, it's going to be special. He's no superhero. In fact, he has no superpowers at all. What he does have is blood-boiling rage, an unkillable drive, tactical brilliance, highly precise marksmanship owing to his military background, and of course, insane combat skills. As a Punisher fan, you've got to put up with the glazing. And just imagine the scenes between Tom Holland and John Bernthal. Their chemistry could really make this duo a massive success. Rumors have suggested that Punisher's role will be hella action-packed. Apparently, the movie starts with a chase sequence involving Scorpion being transported from prison and criminals trying to break him out. So of course, Punisher is right there as well trying to stop that breakout, and Spidey's probably just stuck in between. Honestly, we can't wait to see what the MCU comes up with. Black Cat! Well, here's a villain who has the scope of becoming much more than that to Spider-Man. Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat, is the daughter of a notorious cat burglar, Walter Hardy, and enters the life of crime after her father's arrest. She was mentored by her father's former mentor, the Black Fox, and it wasn't long before her path crossed with Spidey's. Except she wasn't just an enemy, she even became a love interest in several storylines and helped him out on many occasions. She might be a thief, but Felicia Hardy does have a moral compass, or maybe it's just the Spider-Man effect. She also develops an interesting power in the comics. Bad luck powers that cause misfortune for her enemies, which would be kind of fun to see in the MCU. She also has enhanced agility, acrobatics, speed, strength, stealth, thief skills, and many thief gadgets. Now, rumors say that Sadie Sink, set to play some mystery character, could be taking on the role of Black Cat, although Gwen Stacy does seem more likely. Regardless of who plays her, Black Cat would be an exciting addition to the film and would even help grow Spider-Man's Brand New Day arc, giving him a fresh slate to figure out his life. Boomerang! Now, Boomerang is fun, but he's arguably one of the less exciting villains who could still serve as important comic relief in the film. Boomerang, aka Fred Myers, was an Australian who came to the US and became a professional baseball player who was eventually suspended for taking bribes and was later employed by the Secret Empire. He's also been a part of teams like the Thunderbolts and the Sinister Six, but of course he's not exactly superpowered or anything like that. He does have one hell of a pitching arm though, which can throw anything from boomerangs to all-throwing weapons. He has great aim and a whole lot of tech, with some boomerangs actually being trick boomerangs and even explosives. Now, this does mean that if he does appear in the film, he'll probably have a minor role and might end up actually working for one of the other villains on the roster, but if done right, Boomerang is a fun comic relief character that might just steal the show. Savage Hulk could be Spider-Man 4's surprise villain. Now, I'm sure we all love surprises, and here's a big one. A rumor's been floating around that Spider-Man is set to encounter one of his Avengers teammates, and we're theorizing that it's none other than the Savage Hulk. Forget all about the calm and friendly Smart Hulk that you witnessed during Avengers Endgame, because Savage Hulk is a mean green rage machine. And reportedly, Spidey will be facing off with Mark Ruffalo's Savage Hulk. Since we have villains on our roster capable of mind control, particularly Mr. Negative, that could be one way in which the Savage Hulk takes over the Banner personality. While we're excited to see Ruffalo back on screen, it's always a pleasure after all, the MCU really has their work cut out for them. Especially considering that Hulk's storyline has sort of mellowed out and hasn't been giving us anything new in the MCU lately, despite all the World War Hulk rumors. But hey, maybe they'll turn things around with Brand New Day. Fingers crossed. Marvelous verdict! So what does this all mean for Brand New Day? If the rumors are true, Spider-Man Brand New Day isn't going to be a simple Peter versus one big villain movie, but rather it'll involve whole crime webs, underground networks, and gangs of criminals going up against one another as well as Spidey. And with filming already kicking off in location in Glasgow and Pinewood Studios, England, Brand New Day is feeling a lot closer. And of course, teasing Tom Holland's suit, which looks much more comic-coded rather than Iron Man tech, has all of us on the edge of our seats. But we're sure the wait is going to be worth it, so which villain do you want to see the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this content. Until next time, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day, true believers. As the big man said, Excelsior.